Hey there, welcome back to another I Care for Your Brain with board-certified neuropsychologist Dr. Karen Sullivan. Tonight we're talking about something really important as we approach the holiday season here in America, and that is how do we create a dementia-friendly environment for our loved ones who are experiencing dementia. Dementia being an umbrella term where someone has significant cognitive changes to the point where they impact function. We also commonly see mood and behavior changes. So how can we accommodate for all of these issues within cognition, mood, and function to have someone feel included? That is one of the most important challenges as we care about people with dementia, is there is a lot of isolation and objectification that can come along with being perceived as having a significant cognitive disorder. So one of the most important things we have to talk about is how is it that we can include and value our people who are living through this. We also want to make sure we are reaching out to care partners, because so often what we see in dementia is that it is not something that affects the individual. It is really something that affects two people, care partner and person living with dementia. So as we look forward to our celebrations this time of year, I want to go through a couple different suggestions based on scientific literature for how you can best include your person with dementia. So the first one is you want to acknowledge that any change in routine is potentially going to be experienced as a challenge by the person. So often when we have cognitive symptoms, we really rely on some gut level knowing what to expect, the same things happening at roughly around the same time with the same people. So of course what we see during the holidays is we have new routines, we have celebrations that are different from our everyday life. And some of us really like that because it's novel, it's unique, it feels fun and exciting. But for the person who is experiencing dementia, often this can be experienced as disruptive. So what we want to try to do is minimize the impact of the disruption on our person with dementia. So we want to try to hold on to our daily routine as much as we can and change as minimal as possible in a way that will allow us to, of course, experience the joy of the celebration. So I want you to think about, how can I continue waking up the same way? How can I continue having meals at approximately the same time? How can I reduce overstimulation? That is one of the big things when you're living with a brain health challenge, is we don't realize when our brains are working very well how much information we take in and process and choose when deciding how we're going to act and the information we're going to choose to engage in. So I think life for people with dementia can be very, very overwhelming. So trying as much as we can to minimize that overstimulation. So I want you to think about sights, sounds, and physical environment. So sounds are probably one of the areas where the brain becomes most sensitive after any kind of injury, really from traumatic brain injury to brain tumors to all sorts of neurological conditions, including dementia. So we want to just be sensitive to the person's oral surroundings, right? So oftentimes we can have a lot of conversation, we can have people singing, we can have the TV on and conversation. We want to try to make sure we put our person with dementia in a engaging environment, but not overstimulating. We also want to make sure that visually we're not putting them, say, for example, near the door where everyone is coming and going. That is going to give overstimulation. So we want to try to find a place for them where people can come over and have kind of smaller settings, one-on-one engagement with our loved one. Then we just want to think about the physical environment. And one of the most important things is just minimizing choice, minimizing option, but still, of course, giving the experience to the person that you are not just making all the decisions for them. And this can be very, very challenging. You don't want to give them an empty plate and tell them to go up to the buffet line and put everything on there, but you can check in with them before and just say, hey, there are 2 vegetables being offered right now. We have corn or green beans. Do you have a preference for either one of these, right? And you can even simplify it like corn, beans, Of course, if you know your person with dementia is to the point where they can't manage those kind of decisions, then you can create a smaller plate on your own for them. But I think any opportunity you have where you can give appropriate choice and minimize the amount of independent decision making that they have to make will really be helpful. The other thing is that you really want to engage other family members so it doesn't just feel like it's you and your person against the world trying to make this a manageable, festive experience. You want to let people know ahead of time how they can help, specifically things related to getting ready that day, cooking, decorating. How is it you're going to try to keep the person appropriately stimulated throughout the day? Is there a chance where maybe you could kind of tag team with someone else and go take a break? All of these things are very important for the care partner. So the more you plan, likely the better chances you're going to have a chance to enjoy the day as well. The other thing that we want to try to do is prepare all of the guests who are coming. We don't want to, again, it's kind of a fine line. We don't want to parentify our loved ones with dementia or treat them like children in any way, but we do want people to be sensitive to how they communicate to them, how they approach them, really wanting to make sure eye contact is most important, friendly, appropriate touch is welcomed for most people, and reminding people of how we know them when we introduce them or introduce ourselves to them, just really trying to take away the impact of any of those cognitive symptoms on the ability to engage socially. Because really at the end of the day, holidays are very much about social interaction and engagement, and we really want to make that our number one goal. This next one kind of goes along with that, is really the idea of trying to keep the person involved. I know I was saying before, let's kind of have them in an area where it's not too overstimulated. We don't want them to be on their own, but we want to kind of keep them in like a little bit of a protected space to avoid that overstimulation. But it's really key that we include them and think about the ways that they are able to successfully be engaged. So you think about familiar music, putting out some old photographs of family, including them in food preparation is really, I think, one of the most important things, just making sure that it's safe. People can tear up lettuce. You can give them a butter knife and have them cut up softer vegetables, just anything where they are really a part of the family experience. And one of the last ones is we want to try to include breaks throughout the gathering. So this might mean a little bit of quiet time, going outside, getting some fresh air, being able to take the person in the restroom and just have a few minutes where you and them can kind of decompress a little bit, and just really giving yourself that compassion and the respect that this could very well be a mixed bag. This could be both awesome and exhilarating and fun to see so many people, but also exhausting and a lot to take in. So going into the holidays with someone with dementia, knowing that you need to do some prep in advance to make it the most successful experience you can, and also respect on your own that we don't want you doing it all as the care partner, the caregiver. We want you to feel comfortable asking for any support that you can get from the people that also love this person. Remember, taking care and supporting someone with dementia is a community activity. We were never meant to do it by ourselves. So we want to support you in getting a break when you can, and being able to enjoy and experience the holidays in a way that is also meaningful for you. So if you found this lecture tonight to be helpful, I would really appreciate you leaving me a comment and letting me know, how do you plan to make the holidays more dementia friendly this year? I'll see you next time with another science-based brain health lecture so you can be your very best advocate. Bye!